Yeah, first and foremost, got to give Purdue a lot of credit. Really good football team. They've scored a lot of points on everybody they've played, a lot of stats, a lot of yards. And tonight was no different in terms of the stat sheet. Our kids found a way to win. It's gutsy. It's resilient. It's what Row the Boat's all about. And I'm really, really proud of our team. So no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That was truly gutsy. Didn't always go our way for a lot of different reasons. You got to give Purdue a lot of credit for that with Coach Odom. He's a phenomenal football coach. But at the end of the day, it came down to the ball. And they had four turnovers. We had one. The last fumble counts at the very end, just so everybody knows. You sit there and say, I had 3-1. It's 4-1, which we were +3. And you know how much +3 means to us. Really, really proud of our players. Our coaches for making adjustments. Our players for hanging in there. Never once did I think we were out of that football game. As bad as it seemed at times, or as good as it seemed at times, it felt like it was a tale of two cities. It was the best of times and the worst of times. But I'm really, really proud of our football team. The goal was to be 1-0, and especially coming off that hard loss against Ohio State. Those are really tough losses. And the way a team responds to that says a lot about the character of a football team. And I was so proud of our preparation. Again, tonight was not perfect. I do not live in a perfect or idealistic world. I live in a realistic world. And I know we're dealing with young people and dealing with a lot of people that are young and a lot of major positions. And we grew tonight, and we will be better. Just want to thank Heather for all that she does for our program. And she represents all of our coaches' wives and our coaches' families. And it's pretty cool that, you know, our 4 kids are here tonight. Gavin, Carter, Paisley, and Harper, and they mean the world to me. And I say this to them all the time. As coaches, we have a chance to raise other people's kids for a living. And sometimes our kids are the ones that have to sacrifice the most. But I told them afterwards, I said, I hope you learn the biggest life lesson in the world, that you just never give up and you never quit. And Heather teaches that. Our family teaches that in all aspects, and they're incredible kids. And the greatest lessons are the ones maybe you just don't learn in school, but you learn in real life. And that was one of the best lessons they could ever learn. So, Heather, thanks for being the elite wife and mom that you are, and thanks for being amazing young people and kids. I know you hate when I call you kids, but sorry to throw that in there, but it's pretty cool that they're in the presser. So thanks for being here, because I don't get to see them a ton. So love being your dad. With that, we'll open it for questions.
PG, obviously Coy had a tremendous moment in this game. What can you say, kind of hearkening to the resolve that you saw in other players, what he's been through?
Yeah, I mean, Andy, that's a great question, because, again, I think, you know, that's all we talked about after the Cal game. I mean, again, he's going to have hard games. Every player is going to have hard games. I mean, Kerry Brown's interception was absolutely unbelievable. What a catch he made. Who knows what the game looks like if he doesn't pick that down on the 1-yard line. But I think everybody just expects, when you have a perception of a player in your head, you expect that person to be that way all the time. We live in that world, right? Spider-Man's going to come save the day. Batman's going to come save the day. That's America, right? We live in a comic book world at times where good always wins out. And we're looking for that play to be made and that superhero to come in there. And I think everybody expects that from young people all the time. And when we don't have that, it's disappointing. And I think Coy, more than anybody, was disappointed after Cal. But he made the biggest step of his career after that football game, when he could have taken the biggest step backwards. And I'm really, really proud of him. And you just knew, Andy, that somebody at some moment, some way, somehow was going to make a play. The game was too close. There were so many things going on. We weren't playing well, but we weren't out of it. We were always within one possession. And then, bang, that play happens, especially right when we go down to score a touchdown, a resilient drive on offense. Resilient drive by our quarterback and all the wideouts and the protection, because it was tough sledding running the ball. And Coy was Coy. It's the best way I can describe it. It's Coy. And when you have a great player, there's going to be some really good times and there's going to be some tough times, but it's about the response. And Coy did that as good as anybody, like our whole football team did. Because it wasn't just Coy after the Cal game. It was the team. Then after the Ohio State game, it was the whole team. And the response is critical. We talked about 3 things this week: response, change, and growth. And I thought they did all 3 today. So stat sheet, whatever. Great. We'll get all that cleaned up as coaches. The resiliency to find a way to be 1-0 is the goal of the week, and we found a way to do that.
You won the fourth quarter, 14-0. How would you characterize Drake's fourth down rollout, fake out, Giante's big pass breakup, or just where you were emotionally in that fourth quarter?
I think I was pretty calm, pretty much the whole game. You know, I'll have to look at the film in terms of, some of the things that weren't called, right? Were or weren't called, but that's part of the game. You got to go back and look at the tape on all that. But when the ball's in your best player's hands, like, you trust them. You're making calls because you trust your players. Whether that's our specialists, which I thought our specialists were tremendous tonight, whether it was Tom or Sippy Cup or it was, Brady. I mean, tremendous special teams tonight. Tremendous. So you got to trust your players, and that was a huge moment. I mean, you kind of have to do it at that point, and then you trust your players to go make a play, and they definitely made a play. And, again, I look at Drake's stats, and it's not one of his better games statistically. But you talk about one of the gutsiest performances. That's what I saw at the state championship game. I know they won the state championship, but it was gutsy. And he kept coming to me, we got this. Right after the game, hey, Coach, we didn't play well. I didn't play well. But we're going to grow from this. We can't wait for tomorrow. Like, just that's hard to get a young person to be that mature about it. So we've got a lot of – and, again, I can help them. It starts with me. I can help them. I can make certain things maybe a little bit easier for them at times too. You got to give Purdue a lot of credit. Did a lot of different things that they move a ton and gave us some issues in the run game. And again, we're down, so it's hard to stick with a 2-yard run, and there's 2nd and 8. But again, we did everything we could to get the ball in the hands of the playmakers besides the run game. Throw to run the football, and I thought we did that. I think Darius' screen really kind of uplifted us, but our defense just kept rowing the boat, man. Just kept running, but kept responding. It kept us in that football game. When you started that football game and you saw what the score was, not many people thought it'd end with 20 points for Purdue. And that's gutsy. So there's an incredible fight in that locker room, coaches and players, and just proud to be a part of it.
Back to that imbalance of stats, Coach, I just want to get back to it for a minute. You were outgained by 200 yards, 8 less first downs, 20 less plays, and 11 minutes less of possession. It's a strange game, right?
Football. Yeah. College football. Did you check the scores today? Gophers won, right? That's all I care about. Because it's a pretty crazy day in college football. And we were 1-0. We found a way to win. That's why I told you a long time ago, the stat sheet, I mean, there's certain things I look at. The number one thing, as you know, we talk about this all the time, is the ball. We won that 4-1. That gives you the best chance to win. All the other stuff, you could have a short field the whole time and maybe not blow up the stat sheet. We have to get better at a lot of different things, yes. But this offense, Purdue, has had success against everybody they played. They scored a lot of points, put up a lot of yards, whether it was Notre Dame or USC, Illinois. They put up a ton of yards, and they moved the ball right down the field. We're playing good football teams. I mean, playing really good. Everybody's is a really good football team in the Big Ten, hence today. So it's a fight every single week, and we found a way to win. And we'll get better at all the other stuff. I mean, I got to go back and look at all the film, but I'm just proud of I'm proud of the resiliency and the resolve of our football team, period. I do want to say this, though. I'm proud of our fans. What an atmosphere they could continue to create for us, a home field advantage. And they've been, especially our students, they've been partying all day. For them to make it to the game, I'm so thankful for. And I'm sure they're back out again. But just incredible. And then, I mean, what we have, over 220 alum, I think it was the final number. I mean, that's incredible. First got her, we had 40 for this event. Now we're over 220, running out of that tunnel with all of our alum there. I mean, Ariante Urseries, a starting tackle for the Texans, comes back for this homecoming. I mean, Max Brosmer, now he only drives about 7 miles, so it's not that hard for him, but they want to be here. Hey, that's what you want to create as a head coach. Win, lose, or draw, you want people to come back here. And Mark Coyle and I, we talked about that the first day that we came here. Culture sustainability will change Minnesota. And people want to come back. They can attach themselves to that. I mean, we got a chance to speak to the 1960 national championship team and Bobby Bell. Bobby Bell can still take one play, for sure. But talking to those guys and them wanting to talk about our players last night. Was that Friday? Yesterday morning. I don't even know what day it is. But think about that, right? They're back celebrating Gophers. And I know homecoming is special for everybody, but what a turnout, what an atmosphere. Thank you to all of our alum. Our job is to win the game. Everybody else's job is to enjoy the day. But enjoy each other, enjoy that camaraderie. These guys in the locker room will be alum one day. And I hope they always come back to the University of Minnesota.
One or two more for Coach.
PJ, what was your message to your?
Sorry, go ahead, Daniel. I got you, Randy.
After getting down early, how pivotal was that sequence with the screen passes to kind of give things a jolt, especially as far up ahead of the field the rush was getting?
I'm sure you're going to have a bunch of analytic data and things that, way too smart for me. But at that point, whatever it says, we have to make a play. We need something. Put the ball in the hands of our playmakers. And Coach Harbaugh called a great play. And it was a great call based on what they were doing. I mean, we needed to get the ball out. We needed to be able to slow down some of that stunting, that movement, that blitzing. And I thought it was a really good call and at the perfect time. And put the ball in Darius Taylor's hands. Something good's going to happen with it. And give him some space. And I thought he played an exceptional game. Again, this isn't going to be statistically his best game ever, but having him back changes our offense. When we have one of our best players, if not the best player, it changes our offense, and it helps. Now, we haven't had him back very often this year, but now we have him back and practicing with them, and it's only going to help us make it better. But when you look back to the Rutgers game, we're down 14-0, and we get the post to Smith. So I hate to keep doing that, but football games are football games, and you've got to be able to respond in game and make adjustments. And I thought our coaches and players did a tremendous job of that. It's a great question, Daniel. Randy?
What was your message to the team, with the offense especially, when you're down 7 on that tying drive?
We got to do the little things well. That's all I did was go in the huddle and just say, we got to do the little things well. Fundamentals, technique, and then we got to play with incredible how. And then our playmakers are going to have to make plays. Like our leaders and our playmakers are going to have to step up and make a play, and they definitely did. And I give them a lot of credit. There's a lot of things we got to get better at, Randy. Don't get me wrong. It's fun when you win, and there's a huge gap of improvement that you see you can continue to make. And, everybody will judge what they want to judge, and we'll do our own evaluations, and we'll go back and squeeze all the juice from the orange. But we'll be back in tomorrow morning and getting ready for Friday night's kickoff. It'll be here before we know it, because technically I'm sure it's probably Sunday already. So we're getting pretty close.
Response quite a few times, and we obviously saw what happened on the field, but off the field in the preparation this week, are there a couple individuals that stood out, and what did they do to help lead this team to this victory?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just love the whole teams piece. I'd hate to single out a bunch of guys, because I think Drake really had a great mindset with the offense. He was very vocal this week in practice. I think defensively, Maverick Baranowski always has such a great pulse of our defense, and does a lot of player things with the players in terms of player meetings, and runs a lot of stuff when they're watching film on their own. I think Maverick did a tremendous job of that, which I think he's got a really good pulse of the defense. But those two guys, I think, really just uplifted our team. You can say all you want as a coach. It's a player's game. They're the ones that have to go out there and perform, and you just do everything you can to put them in a position to be successful. Continue to teach them leadership. Our players had their own. I did something with President Cunningham this week, and usually Thursday mornings I meet with our captains, our leaders, 20-some guys, and we have a leadership meeting for about 45 minutes. And I missed it this week. I was with our president. We were doing something together, which was really cool, and Mark Coyle. And I said, listen, we can either cancel it or we can do it. You guys can just do it. And they did it. And they came out just like I was in there with a bunch of notes. They handled it very maturely. 45 minutes on their own, phenomenal, right? And I wanted them to do that, but didn't want to tell them to do that. They did that. And I think that's really powerful when you have a team like that really wants to step in. And even if the head coach isn't there, they're going to go in there and be the leaders that they know they have to be. So.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Happy homecoming, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Iman. Go Gophers. Thanks for being here. Thank you.
Student athletes will have me here in a moment. We'll have Drake, Lindsey, Jameson, Geers, Perich, and Anthony Smith.
questions for Drake and Jameson.
Drake, we were sitting in here a couple weeks ago and you had to make a comeback against Rutgers. What was similar or different about tonight's need for a comeback?
Yeah, I think we started slow in both games, which we got to clean up and be better. But I think we did a good job in Rutgers. Second, third quarter, executing well. And tonight, I don't feel like we executed from quarter 1 to 3 very well. We had some little strays here and there that got us going, but I think we got to do a better job as a whole executing. But the fourth quarter and that drive, that's where you find out who you are as a team. Your leaders got to really step up, and you got to get it done. And I think we did a really good job being gritty, and we were put in some tough situations like that 4th and 2. A lot of those situations where you got to go get it, and you got to trust on your teammates and just go be that guy. And I really enjoyed my teammates out there. Looked them in all their eyes, and those are the ones that you got to go get. It was a tough, hard game that sometimes they're hard to win, and you don't always play your best, but you come out with a victory. That's always the best thing.
Drake, could you go through that 4th down run, what you saw and how you pulled it off?
Yeah, we had a little play action pop pass, and when I motioned him over, I could tell it was going to be off. So I had thought, if it's not open, I'm going to have to scramble and make something happen. And I thought I'd be to the field attempting to throw the ball, but they played it really good, and everything was shut down. So I just saw one-on-one at the boundary and just liked my leverage and made a little play with the ball and then got the first down.
Drake, anything in particular in those first 3 quarters, you guys were kind of out of sync, and I don't know, was it the pass rush or was there any different coverage, or can you pinpoint anything?
Yeah, I think they did a really good job, doing a ton of different looks that you don't always see on film, because usually, when you're watching film, they're always going to bring something new because you're watching the past. Then when you get to Saturday, there's always going to be something new. And I think they did a really good job. I have a lot of respect for Coach Odom, son of one of my good family friends, and their DC is really good as well. And then a few of their players I'm close with. And they did a really good job all night, mixing up looks, making everything look the same. And that's challenging as an offense when you're going against that. But I think we just have to do a better job controlling us, controlling the controllables, and going one play at a time and executing what we can.
Jameson, what do you think went into execute the screens well tonight? It felt like that was a big component of the game, especially with how aggressive the rush was.
Yeah, when you play a team like Purdue that does a lot of line games and they do a lot of movement up front with the D-line, it makes it really hard sometimes to get all of them blocked and to take advantage of some of their games. I think that the coaches did a really good job with the scheme, designing some of those screen plays, and just getting the ball in our playmakers' hands. Darius, Lemecki, those guys are unbelievable, and getting them out in space is really exciting to watch, and it makes it fun to go out and block for them. But playing the D-line as active as them, it can be really difficult sometimes in the run game. So I think changing it up and, making them have to respect that the screen game is important, I think was really important today.
Jameson, what was the mood in the huddle as you guys are behind late in the 4th quarter?
Well, I think as leaders, I think Drake and, a lot of the guys were really optimistic. We know, hey, we're not going to get that many possessions left. It's time to go and, just flush everything else. It's an imperfect game. And, some things weren't going our way. Purdue was making a lot of good plays on defense, and I think they're making it challenging for us. And we just went out there and just, like Coach said, we had to do the little things right, and we just had to execute every play. And that led to, I think it was 17 plays to go down there and score. I think that's something we need to develop and build on, is sustaining drives and taking the ball down the field. And I think just putting it in Five's hands is you can see that's where the plays are made. So I'm really proud of him and proud of our coaches and our players to go out there when we needed to get it done and execute when it mattered.
Jameson, could you take us through your touchdown, what you saw there, and how that play developed?
Yeah, so me and Bibbs were over there in power pair, and it was just kind of sealing the DN so that Drake could get the edge, and then I was just kind of running out into the flat, and I kind of felt that I was maybe gonna be able to get the ball, so I just sprinted out there, and then once Drake threw it to me, I knew I was right there. So all I needed to do was get a yard or two, and it's just going out there and making plays when it matters, and Drake having the trust in me to go get it, and having him being able to put a good ball and execute. So that was really fun. to be out there with the guys and celebrate with my teammates.
Greg, talk about your coordination with Lemecki. You guys make some big plays out there, and he seems to be a guy you can find wherever he is.
Yeah, I think with Lemecki, he's just so reliable. I think he's always going to be in the spot he has to be, no matter how he has to get there. If the look changes post-snap, he's really, really smart and sees the defense very well. And I mean, that's quarterback's dream when a guy's thinking the same way as you. So I think he's done a really good job developing in that area, and the conversations we've had have really grown for us to have that connection.
Drake, what were some of the issues in the run game tonight?
I think they did a lot of things up front that were challenging. Moving, like splitting and crossing each other with the D-line was pretty wild up front. And they were bringing a lot of different zone pressures that we hadn't seen, and they were doing a really good job disguising it. So when that's the case, and you can't always get us into the right run, I could say. I mean, I did a poor job and a few times getting us in the better run. But at the end of the day, we gotta get better.
Drake, I know you're close with Coy from the low of Cal to the high of today. How do you kind of look at what he's been through to kind of redeem himself a little bit?
Yeah, I knew it would come eventually. I mean, he stays the course. I mean, I actually told him today in the locker room, I was like, you're going to get a pick six. Like, I say that usually every week, but it finally came true. And when it happened, I was super excited, and I didn't know who it was at first, and then I saw on the Jumbotron it was Coy. So, I mean, he's a warrior. He works so hard, and his mindset's one of the best I've seen, and he's so confident in himself and his teammates. So, I mean, when you have a guy like that who just, after a kick return, when it's out of the end zone, he's running over there trying to hype us up, get us ready to go. When you have a guy like that on defense, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to have.
Drake, you saw a lot of different flavors of defense, through the first few weeks here. How much fun is it for you to conquer those challenges week to week and then kind of file away the knowledge you have for future games?
Yeah, I think it's really good. We played a lot of challenging defenses and really good DCs, and I think when you go back and reflect on each and one, you gotta remember looks and remember things that defenses do, because at the end of the day, football it's a sound game. So when you see something, it's all, like Max always told me, things are on a string. So when things are twisting, people are coming. There's going to be something happening behind it, or someone pressuring. So I think just keep looking back on the games we've played and do that from there.
Any more for Drake or Jameson? All right, thank you guys.
There you go.
Thanks.
Coy and Anthony, ignorant moment. Anthony and Coy, once they take a seat, we'll just jump into questions.
This is the first time we've chatted with you in a while. What would you kind of describe what this moment was like for you to kind of be able to have a pick six and lead your team to victory?
Yeah, I think it's a great moment for our defense. Ultimately, probably one of our better games is defense. 3 takeaways. I thought that was really important and led us to the victory.
Take us through what you saw and felt the moment on the pick six.
Yeah, just reading the QB's eyes, ultimately threw it to me, and just going to make a play.
Take you back to the Cal game. Was that one of the toughest moments or games that you've had in your athletic career? And what was it like responding during the bye week in the Big Ten play?
Yeah, just you got to respond each and every week, each and every play. You're going to have a bad play here and there. Just you got to respond each and every play.
Anthony, talk to me about playing such an elusive quarterback. He was hard to contain.
Yeah, he was up. Yeah, we knew coming in the game that we had to contain the quarterback, and you get in the game and things happen. You got to respond for them. But give credit to him. He's a really good quarterback. He's really elusive in the pocket and going outside the pocket. So, but again, we just kept on responding, and we adjusted at halftime and made things happen.
Coy, what was your reaction when you saw Drake get that 4th down run?
About time Drake get on his legs now. No, Drake's an elite QB, and ultimately he led that in the end. When we needed it most, if it's with its arm or its legs, he's going to get it done. Got all the respect for him.
Touching on Drake, he says that he tells you every game you're going to get a pick six. Is when you hear something like that, and kind of is that a thought that you have as well, kind of an expectation for yourself to make plays like that every game?
I just try to do my job each and every week, whatever my job is that week. Try to help my defense any way I can, each and every week.
What was your perspective on Carey's Superman diving interception there?
Geers elite, man. I mean, what a ball player he is. Really sparks the defense. Each and every week he comes to work. Just an elite human, elite person on and off the field. Carey Brown, man.
Corey, I feel like you were just about ready to break one of those returns because it almost seemed like you were a tackle away from.
Just try to improve on the return game each and every week. Ultimately, and then that's on me. I got to break more tackles. We do an elite job blocking up front. I just got to do a better job.
Anthony, there are a lot of ebbs and flows in this game. What do you think helped keep the team just chipping away and continuing to make adjustments as the game went on?
Just our resiliency. You know, we come to the sideline, we respond to things, we make adjustments. At the sideline, the guys that aren't even playing, we come to the sideline, they're encouraging. I think that's one of the biggest things. That when I come to the sideline, I'm going to get my checks, and I'm Kasai or I got Steven Curtis on the sideline telling me, hey, use your hands here, use your hands there. And then you see the DBs, you see the linebackers all coming together and being there for each other. You know, never putting their head down. So I think that's the thing that really helped us out tonight is the resiliency on the field, and even the guys that were on the sideline. That was really special.
When Jameson got his touchdown that tied it up, what was your guys' thoughts right then?
I almost did a backflip. I was so happy. You know, again, it's so exciting to see the offense play their game. Again, seriously, they're a bunch of guys that play so hard, and they go and practice, and they practice that way. So, again, just seeing everything pay off for them is just super huge for us and the whole entire team.
Any more for Coy and Anthony? All right, thank
Thank you, guys. Good night.